To start us off with an attention-grabbing hot take that is sure to get some of you going in the comments, John Krasinski should not play Reed Richards in the MCU. Okay, now tell me why you disagree in the comments, but be quick about it because today's episode is going to be full of black sheep opinions as we dive back into the pre-MCU Marvel catalog and see what movies are worth revisiting and which ones we can leave dead and buried. And today, true believers, we are going to take a critical retrospective look at the film that is considered to be a mostly disappointing sequel, but has also garnered some level of respect from comic book lovers since its release in 2007.
Which is really pathetic when you think about it.
That's right, folks. Today we are going to watch Fantastic Four: The Rise of the Silver Surfer. Directed by Tim Story and of course starring a pre-Captain America Chris Evans as well as Johan Griffith, Jessica Alba, Michael Chiklis, and Julian McMahon. And while some of you may still be heated about my opening statement, I assure you, this movie has nothing to do with that opinion. Or does it?
See, this proves exactly what I've been saying all along.
No, it really doesn't, but as always, the only thing that matters today is whether or not this movie holds up all these years later. And that, true believers, is what we are going to find out in today's episode of Marvel Revisited. You know what, I was not looking forward to watching this movie again, as last time I saw it I wanted to make like Dr. Doom and lock myself in a giant shipping crate and be hidden away for the foreseeable future. But I may have changed my opinion on that after this most recent rewatch.
Look, don't tell Johnny.
Don't tell Johnny what?
When the movie picks up, it quickly gets into the main storyline and doesn't waste any time catching us up with the Fantastic Four. Reed and Sue are getting married, and as usual, Reed seems more interested in his research than his relationship.
Yeah, Sue says I'm addicted to it.
I wonder why she'd say that.
Johnny and Ben are growing closer, but still holding on to that friendly rivalry that fans of the comics would hope for. The movie also cuts in some very effective establishing scenes of an incoming threat to planet Earth that we will soon come to know as the Silver Surfer. And also there's some threads for the return of Dr. Doom, who we know survived the last encounter with the squad. Now, personally, I think this is one of those rare occasions where the sequel is actually better than the original, and a big part of that is due to the core team's dynamic. When I consume any form of Fantastic Four media, there's a few non-negotiable items that I need to see included. One of those things is Reed Richards, who, despite his good intentions, is constantly placing his super family in the back seat while his love for the work rides in shotgun. But the other thing is seeing the rest of the team acting like a family.
What about having a normal life, a family?
Who says you have to be normal to have a family?
See, in the first film, I enjoyed the characters and the dynamic of the team overall, but in this movie, each character feels like a naturally evolved version of themselves, and I must admit, it works for me. Johnny and Ben feel like they've been living together for years because in this movie, they have. Anyone who's ever had a roommate for more than a couple years knows that while you may get on each other's nerves from time to time, you inevitably will grow closer to that person and maybe even care for them more than you did before.
You and me are gonna be spending a whole lot of time together, pal.
It's not just an annoying little brother trope played up for the sequel. It's complicated and plays the good with the bad, and it's great.
Well, you got me, pal.
Now, Reed and Sue's wedding day is finally approaching, and Reed has promised Sue that he would take a break from work and focus on the wedding. But we all know Reed.
We have to get through this quickly.
Oh, that's romantic.
Should I continue?
Yes, please.
It's actually a good thing that he kept one eye on the work, because when the incoming alien threat makes its way to Earth in the form of Silver Surfer, voiced here by Lawrence Fishburne, Reed is prepared and the team springs into action. The wedding gets pretty badly ruined though, and that's, sad.
But once we are married, everything will be back to normal.
We will never have normal lives as long as we do what we do.
Now, I'm really curious, for those of you that have seen this movie recently, what did you think about the Silver Surfer here? I honestly can say that I think Tim Story really understood the character. Every element from his chrome and comic accurate appearance to Lawrence Fishburne's deep and monotone voice acting to the way they introduce him is just perfect.
Oh, that is cool.
For For those of you that don't know, the Silver Surfer was first introduced in the Fantastic Four issue number 48 in the year 1966 and was created by comics legend Jack Kirby. His real name is Norrin Radd, and Rad he is. I'm not kidding, they could do this exact same thing in today's MCU and it would work for me just as well.
All that you know is at an end.
What do you mean by that?
The Silver Surfer's goal is simple. He's traveling through time and space using his board to send a signal to Galactus, who will then locate and eat the planet and everyone in it in order to survive. And why would the Silver Surfer do something like that? Well, we'll get into it. The first half of the movie is very entertaining, and I don't have a lot of criticism. The bachelor party scene with Johnny, Reed, and Ben is kinda stupid, but it's innocent enough.
It was nothing compared to what I did at my bachelorette party. Talk about wild.
And I love the added plotline of Johnny's molecules becoming unstable after encountering the Silver Surfer, causing him to switch powers with the team every time he touches them.
Reed, you better be able to fix this.
I'm right on it.
This isn't explained really, but in my opinion, it doesn't have to be. It's funny and it's fun and it adds a layer to Johnny's character that will come in handy later. So up until this point, I've basically just talked about the things that I like about this movie. And the reason for that is because the first half is genuinely not bad. It's in the second half of the movie that all my negative comments come to the forefront.
What the hell was that?
We'll make adjustments. Next time we'll be ready.
See, the story of the movie isn't that complex. It mostly follows the traditional comic book movie franchise formula in that our heroes need to stop a world-ending event from happening while facing impossible odds. And that's all well and good, but where I see this all start to fall apart is when the movie reintroduces Victor Von Doom, played by Julian McMahon.
What's the matter? Afraid of ghosts?
Okay, so let's talk about what doesn't work for me. So Doom is alive and has found a way to track the Surfer. He kinda just walks up to him and vaguely pitches him the idea of a collab situation in which the two would work together to take over the world.
We could be unstoppable. Anything would be ours for the taking.
The Silver Surfer is not interested for even 1 second. He kinda just blasts Doom and surfs off. Doom then inexplicably gets his physical deformities reversed, and he's just back to being handsome, but still has his powers, and I hate that. I just want to know how that happened. Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, but Kier, how are you okay with Johnny's power swapping thing not being explained, but when it's Doom, it's unacceptable? Well, listen, Johnny's arc in this film is that he's trying desperately to be taken seriously. This is proved by little things like him asking Reed to call him John instead of Johnny in an attempt to be seen as less childish.
John.
Huh?
Focus testing showed that Johnny skewed a little young.
But after he meets the Silver Surfer and gets the ability to swap powers with his teammates, he's deemed by Reed to be a flight risk for the crew and is kind of sidelined by the team. But there's a scene where Johnny tries to go after the Surfer and ends up getting knocked into Reed, who is stretching his limbs to save a Ferris wheel full of civilians, and it all culminates in Johnny almost killing everybody, including his sister Sue.
Stay back before you get somebody killed.
This further alienates Johnny from the family and thus adds some more depth to his character and development. But with Doom, he just gets hot again, and that's all. Nothing changes for him in any way, and the change doesn't serve the plot either. It's very annoying, and I'm tempted to say that they just didn't know what to do with the character. And also, after he gets his normal appearance back, he just strolls into the government and offers to help them save the world, and they're just gonna let him freely walk around as if he didn't almost destroy the entire city in the last movie. Like, because he doesn't look hideous anymore, he's just getting a pardon for his crimes. Get the f*** out of here.
I hate you. All of you.
The government forces Reed and team to work with Victor in order to track the Surfer and help take him down after they figure out that his surfboard is the source of his power. However, I do love the scene where Reed demands the military and Victor to show him and the team some respect, and he just kind of lists all the reasons why he's better than Victor. This is classic Reed Richards, and Johan Griffith truly shows that he deserves to play this character. Honestly, I think the casting is kind of perfect.
I'm one of the greatest minds of the 21st century. I'm engaged to the hottest girl on the planet.
And guess what? The team is able to capture the Silver Surfer. But then it all goes to shit once again, and we learn the Surfer's reasons for wanting to destroy the planet. So Norin, or the Silver Surfer, reveals to Sue that he's rampaging across the cosmos and destroying planets because Galactus, who by the way is not really Galactus in this movie, made him a deal that if the Surfer helps him consume other planets, he won't eat the Surfer's home planet of Zen-La and spare his people.
My service spares my world and the one I love.
This part isn't so bad, it's kind of understandable, but then he gives some whack lines about how he wants to save Earth now because Sue reminds him of his girlfriend back home on his planet. What?
You remind me of her.
So he'll destroy countless planets in order to save his girlfriend and people, but he meets one person on Earth that reminds him of his girlfriend, and all of a sudden he's fine with joining the Fantastic Four and breaking his agreement with Galactus? Like, homie, you realize if you don't succeed in killing Galactus, you just signed a death warrant for your entire planet because some sexy invisible lady was nice to you? Sick.
Why are you destroying our planet?
I have no choice.
So, with the Surfer now under captivity and the Fantastic Four also being detained by the government, Doom inevitably betrays the army and steals the surfboard to claim the ultimate power. And actually, I don't really know what his plan is at this point. I don't think the writers did either because it's never explained.
You have to give it up!
You know, I've never been the giving type, Creed.
Hold on!
But anyway, the team escapes with the Silver Surfer and chase down Dr. Doom, and you know what that means, baby. It's final battle time.
To quote a friend of mine, it's clobbering time.
So, let's recap. The Fantastic Four and the Silver Surfer are working together to save the Earth from Galactus, a giant space cloud that consumes planets to survive. Johnny's molecules are still unstable, and every time he touches one of his team members, he swaps their powers with his. And Doom is inexplicably handsome again, but still wearing the metal suit anyway, and now in possession of the magic surfboard.
Nice.
After failing to subdue Victor, Johnny ends up group hugging his homies and taking all four of the team's powers at one time, and I kinda love it. He can stretch, he can flame on and fly, he can become invisible and use force fields, and he also has fists made of orange rock.
The Thing. Is this dork made of orange rock like the rest of his body?
It's a superhero secret.
The logic of how this happens doesn't make a lot of sense, but come on. Of course it doesn't. And so now Johnny's movie-long struggle to become a real hero and be taken seriously is laid on heavy throughout the whole film, and it pays off by having Johnny be the only one who can save the world. I love that.
Let's not make this about me.
Johnny takes down Doom and returns the Surfer to his board and gives the team back their powers. The Silver Surfer decides that if he flies into the mouth of Galactus, he can implode him from the inside, so basically he sacrifices himself to save Earth.
I will no longer serve. This is the end.
Do I like this ending? Not really. You have to remember that the Silver Surfer is doing all of this, as in sacrificing himself to save Earth, just because he thought Sue was fine based on a 3-minute encounter with her. But if we can overlook everything else in this movie, why not add that to the list?
What'd I miss?
In conclusion, the Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer is a relatively inoffensive entry in the Marvel canon. I'd say it's better than movies like Daredevil and Elektra, and not as good as movies like Blade and the X-Men. And honestly, despite my beef with Tobey Maguire, this movie doesn't even come close to Spider-Man 2.
You're getting on my nerves.
I have a knack for that.
Not anymore.
But as always, I'm only one part of this conversation, and I genuinely want to know what you guys think of this film. And yes, I'm also curious to know who you would cast as the Fantastic Four in the upcoming MCU reboot. I would love to read your thoughts. Thank you for watching, everybody, and we will see you next time on Marvel Revisited. Goodbye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Friday Night Flicks. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the pre-show, and now we're going to get into the good shit, the good stuff. Tonight's main topic is going to be Fantastic Four. Let's get that out of the way. We're going to be talking all Fantastic Four in cinema, that is, and I'm very excited. If this is your first stream, welcome. Hello, my name is Kier Gomes, and I'm going to be your host this Friday and every other Friday. And if you're coming back, hello, and I've missed you. Welcome home. Thank you guys so much, as usual, for being so active in the comments already. You know, I always appreciate that. We got the Danny MB Network is back, says Flame On. Hello, thank you for being here. The Only Blaboo says it's clobbering time. Hello, hello. Juan M, hello, hi. Thank you for being here. Hope you're doing well. All right, everybody. I am so excited for tonight. If you guys don't know, I'm sure most of you coming back do know, but I'm a big time, let's put on some music. I'm a big time comic book reader. And today we're going to be talking Fantastic Four, one of the original Marvel comics, you know, the first super family, as they're commonly known. And I'm excited. As you guys know, what kicked off the desire for us to talk about Fantastic Four this evening is we were treated to the official trailer for the upcoming MCU Fantastic Four movie. We finally got it. And this is interesting because to me, let me know if you guys agree with this. I kind of feel like, I mean, we've been waiting for this movie. They announced it so long ago. They teased it so long ago. They did like a temporary logo reveal years and years and years ago, like maybe even pre-pandemic. And but to me, it feels like now that it's here, it feels new again. And that is exciting to me. I remember when they announced the cast, that was kind of like the last big excitement that I had. And then everything, you know, preceding that, I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of these little tiny leaks, these little things. I want to just see a trailer so I know what I'm in for. And we finally got it. For those of you that haven't seen it, if you're trying to avoid the trailer, we are going to be taking a look at it tonight, doing a little reaction. I've seen it a couple times, but we're going to watch it together. If you don't want to see it, just don't look at your screen for a couple of minutes. But don't leave the show, okay? Because after that, we're going to keep everything in the past instead of the looking forward to the new one, okay? All right. Yeah, look, you guys are excited for Fantastic Four. Wonderful. Yeah, me too. Me too. I want to know, I would love to, I mean, I wish I could ask each of you individually because this is a topic that I particularly am interested in, Fantastic Four. I would love to know how many of you guys are more excited for the movie now that you've seen the trailer and how many of you guys are less excited for the movie now that you've seen the trailer. Because on my end, it seems to me like the general reaction to the trailer has been positive. But I also kind of exist in a vacuum sometimes where I'm only kind of in circles of fellow, you know, easy to please comic book movie lovers like myself. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about, we're going to watch the trailer. We'll talk about just some of the stuff that I gleaned from the trailer. Okay, I do want to have a proper discussion because I've not been able to voice my thoughts to you guys yet since this came out. And then we are going to rank the existing Fantastic Four films. You're probably saying, but Kier, there's only 3. It's an obvious order. I'm counting the 1994 Roger Corman movie because I think it counts. Because if you've seen it, then it's a Fantastic Four movie, and it counts. Darnell Leak says he is more excited for the movie now that the trailer is out. Yes, I am as well. Let me know how you guys feel. Looks like Darnell's excited. I'm excited. I think I'm definitely more excited now. Yeah. Cartoon Man, welcome. It's clobbering time. Oh yeah, we've had a couple of those comments already. Hopefully we'll get them throughout the night just to keep the hype alive. Okay. This is an interesting take here. Tony Rowlerson, I hope I'm saying that right. Sorry, Tony, if I'm saying it wrong, says that he's less excited only because this is not the 616 Fantastic Four. That's interesting. I've not heard yet that other people like share that sentiment, but it kind of does make sense because we've spent 30 plus movies kind of getting invested in 616. So I understand where you're at, but I am kind of excited to see how the Fantastic Four make their way into 616, which I believe will happen in this movie, or at the very least be well alluded to and well set up for a following movie. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good year for superhero movies, guys. We got Fantastic Four coming out. We got James Gunn's Superman coming out. We have what could be a sleeper hit with Thunderbolts, and then we have Captain America 4, Brave New World coming out, which that one actually comes out this week. So by next Friday, I might have already seen it. Maybe we can talk about it. I might go see it Thursday. I wouldn't normally go see. Here's the thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier, or I mean with Brave New World. I would not normally go see a movie like that on opening night, but I would like to talk about it on the show next week. And I feel like maybe you guys would want me to talk about it on the show. So I don't know. I might do it. Nails says, I'm hearing some hate for the female Silver Surfer, but I think she will exceed expectations like Sasha Calle in The Flash. Yeah, Sasha Calle was an amazing Supergirl. Let's all get that clear. I'm one of the few people that likes the Flash movie despite its many problems, Ezra Miller probably being one of the biggest. I just never appreciated them as an actor. That's kind of the thing. I never liked Ezra Miller, you know, like as an actor. So even before all the even before all the weird shit that they were doing online, I already was kind of like, I would like my Barry Allen to be a little less Ezra, you know? Oh my God, we're starting the show off nice spicy hot take from John Fallon, friend and producer of the show. Thank you for being here, Johnny. He says that the 94 flick is the best one. There, he said it. He said it. Y'all, I might not disagree. I mean, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk all about it. I'm not gonna spoil my opinion yet. Okay. Rosa G, thank you for being here. Says I want to watch Superman. Yes, me too. I'm excited to feel excited again. You know, I think that I will say this. I think the Fantastic Four trailer. Let me know again how you guys feel in the comments. I think that the Fantastic Four trailer was more promising than the Superman trailer, and I'm usually a DC guy, so you know. A random YouTuber with Kiki as the profile picture. Hello, welcome back. Thank you for being here. Fantastic Four got referenced in Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs. That's the best reference of Fantastic Four in media I remember from. Wow, wow. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know the reference. I haven't seen Reservoir Dogs is one of those movies. You know, it's like I see it, like the completionist in me wants to see it, and I do like the movie. I've seen it probably a handful of times, but I don't watch it that much. I don't watch a lot of Tarantino like regularly. He's a great filmmaker. I love almost every single one of his movies. But he's one that for me, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that one you can watch over and over. That one's pretty good. Yeah, Django you can watch over and over. That's a really good rewatch. Pulp Fiction, one of the great movies. But like Pulp Fiction, this is I love that film. I love it so much. I would probably classify it as like top 20 movies for me, but I don't rewatch it like as often as I would with other movies that are in that same category. I think Tarantino, for me, it's a little hard sometimes for me to get in the mood for Tarantino, you know. And Reservoir Dogs, I'm sorry to say, is one of those ones I rewatch probably the least, you know. Maybe that, and like I like the Kill Bill movies. Those ones I probably watch the most, you know. But I consider Volume 1 and 2 kind of one movie. Obviously, everyone does. Yeah, Darnell Leak, I agree with you. This was my beef with Ezra as the Flash as well. Ezra Miller as the Flash didn't have the Barry Allen-ness. He was more like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, you know, and that's just not. It's cool, you know. The Bart Allen even is kind of like that, but Barry Allen, not so much. Not so much. He should have been a little more like, you know, serious, a little more forensic scientist serious. Oh, greetings from Chile. Well, hello, Javier Chacon. Thank you for being here. Wow, all the way from Chile. I love Grosse Point Blank. That's a great film. That's definitely a rewatchable one. For those of you that don't know, Grosse Point Blank is a John Cusack picture. And Joan Cusack also in it. She plays his like manager / secretary. I don't know what her job is there, but she's great. Yeah, I love Grosse Point Blank. It's a movie about a successful hitman who goes back to his hometown for his high school reunion and meets an old love and kind of rekindles an old flame. Great movie. John Cusack, you can't go wrong. Dan Aykroyd is in it. He plays a fellow hitman. Good stuff. Yeah, Jackie Brown is good. I agree with you, Alistair. Jackie Brown's good. Gotta throw respect on the Jackie Brown name. All right, let's take a look at the trailer, guys. I appreciate all. Oh yeah, we'll do a video, a Gross Point Blank video. We might find time for that. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna promise you anything, but that could be fun. Thoughts on Michael Chiklis as the Thing? Yeah, I didn't like the design. I thought it was cool that it was practical. I like that they had like a rubber rock suit on him, and I love him. Like the look and the attitude. I love Michael Chiklis. So the short answer is I loved him as the Thing, but the longer answer is I loved him as the Thing, but the character design didn't sell me. Kind of want to watch Jackie Brown now. Yeah, do it. Watch it after the stream. Don't watch it now. Watch me now, and then watch Jackie Brown. Me first. All right. So for those of you that haven't seen the Fantastic Four trailer, let's take a quick look at it.
Welcome to the Baxter
Now,
Building.
let me turn the music, background music down.
Sunday at 7 on the dot, no matter
Man,
what.
when I first saw like this first opening shot, I thought it was just like a very interesting way to start the trailer. It immediately got me curious.
Yeah, I'll be the judge of
The
that.
Baxter Building kind of reminds me of the Avengers Tower. I wonder if that's on purpose.
Okay.
Look at the look of Ben Grimm though, of the Thing. Like I saw some people say that it's like a little uncanny valley. Nah.
Okay.
He definitely does still have that cousin from the Bear voice though. He's doing the cousin thing. You want to add a little bit of zip, cousin. Also Pedro Pascal looking good as Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Best looking, he means.
And Johnny never caught fire.
Ben has always been a rock.
Oh no, I didn't Bootzilla. I see it right here. Mr. Orange has a silver surfer poster on the wall. That's the reference. Okay.
Right here.
I like the prism kind of like invisibility.
We'll face it together.
I kind of like the invisibility like rainbow prism around Sue. It's kind of, you can depict that in different ways. Oh, I love that shot of the Thing running. It kind of, to me, looks like the Thing is going to be maybe one of the... Look at these suits. Wow, look at that. Seems to me like the Thing might be the main attraction of this film, which would not disappoint me at all. I would be happy about that. Glendale Bro does not like the Thing's voice. It might take some getting used to, but I think, the thing about when Ben Grimm becomes the Thing, he still has his voice. And he is like a New York, like a New York kind of guy. So it's gonna take some getting used to, I think, for many people, especially because Chiklis kind of is who I think of when I think of the Thing's voice. But we'll come around to it. We'll come around to it. Look at these costumes, you guys. This is it for me. This is it for me. I love this. In the '94 film, they went with like direct comic book accuracy, like ripped out of the 60s comics, but it looked like shit because they just used like nylon leotard fabric, right? And then in the 2005 and 2007 or 8 Tim Story movies, they had kind of more of like a tactile, textured, kind of like a Spider-Man suit, but it was, like a navy, like a deep navy blue, looked a little more practical, a little more modern. Then you had the abomination of the Josh Trank film, which completely fucked up all credibility in uniform because the Fantastic Four didn't have any of their iconic looks. None of them did. And it was disturbing that the final kind of look of their costumes, it didn't even like, there wasn't like a blue. There wasn't like a four, like a good looking, it was just, there was no flavor, no personality. They literally just looked like high-tech spacesuits. And that was it. So these suits, I was very happy to see. They look like the, vintage 1960s kind of Kirby-esque designs. You even have Sue Storm in this shot here looks like she's right out of the comic books. And, the white collar, the white boots. Same thing with Johnny, kind of got the white collar. Ben has it. Reed doesn't. But these suits look cool. They kind of have like a cable knit look to them. They look very like vintage, very retro, very cozy is kind of a weird word, but like that's kind of what I'm getting. And yeah, so for me, I'm super stoked. I love that they kind of have this like bizarre white space room with just a big floor. It looks proper, It looks like how I want it to look. And I was worried, I think a lot of us were. If you guys remember, let me see if I could pull it up here. The only Bluboo says, I'm only looking forward to seeing the Thing in those shorts. Yeah. This is a true fact. Ben Grimm is Jewish in the comic books, and I think it's cool that Ebon Moss-Bachrach seems to be kind of taking that as really part of the character, because I think it's important for comic book lovers. It is kind of like part of Ben's character, his religious, his religion. So I think it's cool. But I was nervous for how the Fantastic Four were going to look, and specifically the Thing. Now, there's some things we didn't get to see. I didn't, at least unless I missed it, but this is now like the third or fourth time I've seen the trailer. I don't think we see any stretching from Reed. Like, I don't think you see Mr. Fantastic doing anything super. And we also didn't get any looks at Shia LaBeouf, the Silver Surfer. So, kind of would be sick if like the Super Bowl had like an extended version of the teaser that did include a little more. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Okay. But yeah, I was worried about the Thing's design. And if you guys remember, I have a picture of it here. Look at this set photo. This was the internet's first proper look at Ben Grimm in MCU Fantastic Four. And when I saw it, I actually liked it. I was like, oh, this is good. This looks like orange rock. It even looks like it's a little bit like, you can see like right there. It even looks like the rock itself is dry and made from earth. It doesn't look like it's foam like the Michael Chiklis one. So I really like, when I saw this, I was like, this could be good. It looks like a man in a giant rubber suit, which is this sounds crazy, but it's kind of what I wanted the Thing to be. Right? It's kind of what we all want the Thing to be. Is we don't want to see some, ugly gray CGI mess, right? We don't want an orange Hulk. We want a rock. And they gave us that. So when I saw this, I was concerned because I saw this and I said, it looks good, but how is that going to look on camera, under scrutiny, in HD? Are we going to enjoy the aesthetic of this hybrid practical CGI suit? And I'm happy to say, at least from the trailer, the look that we got from it, I think it's going to be cool. I actually think that one of the things I like about the Thing's design in this trailer was that in the shot of the four of them kind of all lined up together, you can see the Thing is more wide than tall. Maybe not more wide than tall, but like he's wider and shorter. And I kind of like that look, because in a lot of the best Fantastic, especially some of the best Fantastic Four comic book covers, the Thing is a lot stockier. And I like that look. I think it looks cool, just like a frumpy rock, Anyway, that's me. Let's put the music back on, Linda Bro says, I kind of wish Tim Story made a third and final Fantastic Four movie. Again, agrees with that, because it would have been nice to see a full vision. There was clearly, at the end of the second movie, there was clearly plans on at least continuing with those characters in some way. And it would have been nice to see where that would have gone, especially because I think the Tim Story films get kind of a worse reputation than they deserve. At least the second one does. And we're going to talk about that too. In fact, should we just get into it? You guys want to talk about the movies? Okay, we'll do it. Audio issues. Now, like I said at the beginning of the show, okay, I'm kind of counting the 1994 unreleased Fantastic Four movie as not like, I'm not counting it as a theatrical film because it wasn't released, but I'm counting it as one that deserves to be in this ranking. Because for those of you that haven't seen it, it is a Fantastic Four movie. It is that. It's almost even a more faithful Fantastic Four movie than like the Josh Trank one. And so, well, thanks guys. A lot of people saying I'm good now. I was not aware that I had any audio issues, so I'm sorry. Maybe I blocked the microphone when I was taking a sip. So yeah, but I count the 94 movie in this ranking because also it's more interesting. And for those of you that haven't seen it and are curious about it, stick around to the end of this live stream because we are going to be doing a giveaway that you might be interested in. Okay. Here's how I think I want to do this. I'm counting it as there's 5 Fantastic Four movies, okay? Well, there's 4, and the new one I'm counting as the 5th one, okay? Even though it's technically going to be the 4th. So I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite, and then we're not obviously going to rank the unreleased 2025 film, but we will kind of circle back to where I think that'll land in the ranking, okay? Okay, it was when I turned on the music. Yeah. Well, luckily, guys, I think we can look forward to a lot of these issues being minimized in the future. We're going to be hopefully expanding the show a little bit and getting a little bit of these technical issues taken care of. Screenlight says, so here's the thing. I can't wait to read the next comment. That's a teaser if I've ever seen one. 2 comments and haven't made your comment. Okay, well, we'll get there. All right, so yeah, I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite, you guys. And then maybe we'll talk some movie news at the end. There's 2 kind of little tidbits that I read today that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so number 5, what I would consider, in my opinion, to be the worst Fantastic Four movie. And this is probably, like, obvious. It's Fantastic Four 2015, the Josh Trank.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Sorry, let me mute that. Just pull up some footage here for the sake of, like, you know, B-roll so you guys have something to look at. The 2015 Josh Trank film sucks. I hate this movie. I remember when it was coming out. The B-roll is like anything but footage from the movie. There we go. I remember when the movie was coming out and I saw like the first trailer even, and I remember going, what the hell is this? Oh, that's interesting. That sounds like Reed Richards from Fantastic Four. Oh, that's Sue Storm from this is a Fantastic Four movie. That was kind of, when the trailer came out, that was kind of my reaction to it. Was I had to piece together information throughout the trailer to finally tell me, oh, this is supposed to be a new Fantastic Four film. Honestly, if it wasn't for that little Marvel in association with Marvel thing at the beginning of the trailer, I never would have known, okay? Because this movie bears very few resemblances to the Fantastic Four that I think the majority of people that enjoy the Fantastic Four would know and love, okay? This ain't it for me. I have heard a few defenders of the movie kind of talk about that it has redeemable qualities, such as like the body horror elements, it being a bit darker, a bit more grounded. Boo. You know what this is? This is a byproduct. This movie, here's why I hate it. This movie is a byproduct of learning the wrong lessons from Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. This movie is exactly that. It's a movie that learned the wrong lessons from The Dark Knight, 2008, and tried to create its own version of a darker, grounded, more practical Batman, just with the Fantastic Four. And this movie's not the only one guilty of it. There's a lot of movies that went hyper grounded following The Dark Knight because The Dark Knight did it so well. It was probably one of the greatest comic book movies ever made, and as a result, we got a bunch of schlock, you know? This is a fun name. Urinator, as in urinator, says, is the Fantastic Four too powerful to be in the MCU? Yes and no. No, in a sense that in the, like, if we're talking specifically just the MCU, we've seen Wanda, you know, in the MCU, and that's a powerful, you know, I mean, I don't think the Fantastic Four could do anything that Wanda wouldn't be able to, like, also do, you know? Like, I'm not saying that they're weak, I'm just saying that, like, there's probably room for even more powerful folk in the MCU because they have set the bar so incredibly high, you know? Dr. Pepper. Oh, yeah, from John Carpenter, The Thing. I get it. The only blaboo. I class this nothing to the family of four. Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. The 2015 Fantastic Four. Sorry, let's get back to that. I was reading your guys' comments, very much enjoying them. But let's talk about the movie. Yeah, so this movie, the praises that it got, obviously are far exceeded by the amount of criticism that it gets. And the main criticisms, I don't want to rehash things that have been said all over the internet since 2015 about this movie. But a lot of the issues just lie in the story being kind of confusing, overly convenient, not being pieced together in a way that's satisfying for the audience. It's basically an origin story of four people with no chemistry that barely know each other coming together, getting mutated, and being forced to try to take down their other friend who is some kind of pseudo Doctor Doom. His name is Victor Domachev. Victor Domachev. Just call him Victor Von Doom. You're okay. Listen, this is part of the beef I have. Part of the beef I have is we're in a world where superheroes exist. They're gonna call themselves the Fantastic Four, which sounds like the Village People. It sounds like a 70s pop band, right? Doesn't it? Making sure I'm not getting too passionate and ruining the audio. But it sounds like a 70s, it sounds like, yeah, like the Fantastic Four. That sounds like the Brady Bunch, you know? And so to try to make it this thing where you can't name a guy Victor Von Doom, it has to be Domachev. He's got to be a Russian hacker, not a power-hungry playboy named Victor Von Doom. Stupid. It's stupid. They changed the name in the reshoots. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is what we're talking about right now. Yeah. Yeah. Well, but, I mean, even if in the script it was Von Doom, and then they change, it's still stupid. You know, I don't care who's to blame, if it's Josh Trank or Fox, which I think it's probably both, but definitely Fox. You know, Domachev, Victor Domachev, not as scary. They should call him Dr. Domachev. I wish they would have done that. I wish they would have called him in the movie after he transforms and he's made out of metal. Oh, he's like made out of metal too. Instead of armor, it's like his body. Yeah, Chronicle was better. Chronicle is a Josh Trank film. I think it was Josh Trank's first feature film. Chronicle is absolutely an underrated movie. And I get very passionate about this because the thing that I love about it, Chronicle is, if you guys have seen that movie, The Craft, from like 95, 96 with Nev Campbell, Chronicle is basically The Craft. I realized this one time I was watching The Craft with my wife, and she goes, "This is basically," or maybe I was watching Chronicle, and she was like, "This is basically The Craft," and it is the same thing, but it's a great kind of age-old story, right? Of with great power comes great responsibility, but what about the one that uses it the wrong way? You know, and that's kind of but it was good, and for a found footage movie, so much fun. I think Josh Trank really sucks at making Fantastic Four movies, but I think if he would have stuck with original stuff like Chronicle, I would have just loved to see another Chronicle movie. You know, why not? Anyway, so Fantastic Four, Josh Trank, 2015. That one is the worst. If you haven't seen it, avoid it. It really isn't going to add anything to anything for you. It's not even like one of those things where I could say, yeah, if you want to just shut your brain off and kind of watch some cool superhero stuff. There's nothing cool in it. The only cool scene in this movie is when Reed discovers that he's stretchy. And it's only cool because it's fucking terrifying. That's it. It's not cool because it looks epic. It's not cool because the score is good. By the way, the score sucks too. That's another thing. How do you fuck that up? A heroic superhero score. Just hire one of the greats and have them do their thing. But nope, that didn't happen either. Yep. Yash, hi babies. Are we your babies? Well, hello. Yeah, dude, Fox gets in everyone's way when it comes to these movies because Fox, it's so funny. Fox wants to control the IP that they own. They wanted to control, I mean, this is all over now, but they wanted to control X-Men. They wanted to control Fantastic Four. They wanted to have the power over these characters, but they never knew. It's just like what Sony's doing with the Spider-Man universe. They want to maintain control, so they keep making films, but they don't know what to do with the films. So they just keep making bad movies and like muddying the waters. Yeah, I did know that Trank has disowned this and said that he had a great version. I think his quote was a lot like what David Ayer said about his version of Suicide Squad, where he said, somewhere out there exists a great version of this movie, but you'll probably never see it. And that's terrible, and it sucks. But I gotta say, I don't know how much Fox could have done. I mean, like, how good could the original script have been if the movie still sucks that bad? So I don't know, man. The movie's terrible. I'm not saying I think it's all Josh Trank's fault. I definitely blame Fox, but man, that movie sucks ass either way. And at the end of the day, that's all you need. That's all I need to know anyway. Is, do I like it? No, it sucks. All right, so very bottom of the barrel, even worse than anything else we've seen from Fantastic Four is that one. Fan 4 stick is what everybody calls it. I know the Flick Pick kind of coined it, or kind of like owns that, but everybody calls it Fan 4 stick. You know, might have been because of him, truly. Okay. Oh, I got to read this before we move on to my... Sorry, guys. Whoops. I got to read this before I move on to my next one. I have a conspiracy theory that the Fox-Disney deal must have been in the works for years, and Simon Kinberg was a Disney plant to ruin X-Men and Fan 4 stick. Oh, you know what's weird is I don't know enough about the timeline of when all this went down to confirm or deny, but I will say some of these movies are so fucking bad that it would actually be comforting to know that they had a mole in there fucking it up and sabotaging it on purpose. Oh, Dark Phoenix. If you guys haven't seen our coverage on Dark Phoenix, Jesse Shade did one of the funniest videos on our channel about how bad X-Men Dark Phoenix was. But even then, X-Men Dark Phoenix, I know it's also a Kinberg destroyed movie, but at least that movie visually, if you turn Dark Phoenix on mute and you don't pay attention to what people are saying and you just look at it, it's fun to watch if you just look at it. This movie, Fantastic Four 2015, not even fun to look at. Bullshit. Okay, so that was number 4, I guess. That was my bottom of the barrel, but what is barely better than that, long before we saw the trans,
is Fantastic Four 2005. The original Tim Story Fantastic Four movie. Okay. I said this in the pre-show video, so this won't be a surprise for some of you, but it might be a surprise for others of you. I think that this movie, Fantastic Four 2005, is way worse than the sequel. I think the sequel, Rise of the Silver Surfer, is way better than this movie. I don't like this one that much at all. It does have some charming and redeemable qualities. There are things I like about it. It's not a complete lost cause like Josh Trank's movie, or like Fox's Josh Trank movie. but it's not great either. Some of the things they do right. I like that they use practical effects for The Thing. Tim Story seemed to really care about the Fantastic Four, and I think anybody who cares about the Fantastic Four, it translates to character design. You have to be so specific about that when you're dealing with an orange rock man, you know? And even though I don't love the design of the Thing in this movie, it's a little too flat. He kind of looks like an egg. I still appreciate that it's practical and that it looks, you know, like it's not made out of computer generated imagery, you know? So I do like that. I also think that given the times, you know, that this is pre-MCU, this is coming off of movies like Daredevil, I think this was a refreshing movie in terms of the camp of the movie. Like, it was silly. They kind of leaned a little bit into it being funny. They also had some really peak fucking Marvel references in this movie. There's a part where a newspaper alludes to the fact that the X-Men exist and the Punisher exists. And then there's a part I believe it's in this one. It might be the second movie, but I think it's in this one where where Johan Griffith turns into Wolverine. Like, he morphs his face to look like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So fucking cool. So there are good things. There are good aspects of this movie. In fact, the one thing that this movie does better than the sequel is this movie's story makes sense, which is a compliment because the next one, the story doesn't make a lot of sense in Silver Surfer. So I don't love this movie. This is one that I would say skip if you haven't seen it. It's not gonna scratch that Fantastic Four itch, I don't think. But maybe it will. I mean, if nothing else, if you don't know anything about the Fantastic Four, maybe you should watch this so you can see how far we've come compared to what the new movie looks to be. Yeah, I also have good things to say about Rise of the Silver Surfer. That's actually, I would consider that movie to be misunderstood. I think that there's a lot of people that hate on the Silver Surfer movie and not this one, and I think that's backwards, you know? Yash says, also Tim Story being African-American directing a major superhero movie is great for progress. Totally agree with that. I think, you know, we should have diverse filmmakers making movies because then we get diverse movies, and why would you not want that? So yes, I agree. They have a cave troll, Kojo. Jessica Alba as Sue Storm resulted in many prepubescent boys learning about themselves in more ways than one. Let me see, 2005. I was too old for Jessica Alba to be my awakening. I was too old for that, but I definitely think that there is many a teenage boy that probably found Sue Storm to be like peak Marvel superhero. Yeah. That's as much as I'm going to say about it, honestly. So yeah, you know, Rise of the Silver Surfer is not terrible. Or I'm sorry, Fantastic Four 2005, not terrible, but not great. Not a great movie. I do kind of like, now that we've seen Chris Evans playing Johnny Storm not once, not twice, but 3 times, if you include Deadpool 3. I do actually like Johnny Storm in these movies. Specifically, Chris Evans understands, I think, Johnny Storm. And he brought him to modern times in a very cool way, because in at least like the comics that I like from Fantastic Four, Johnny Storm is typically a little younger and a little more annoying, or he's a little older and a little less annoying. And I always prefer the little younger, little more annoying. I think that's better. My overall, I think when I revisited this movie, we did it. By the way, I have reviews of all of these movies on the channel if you want to see my in-depth thoughts. The Chris Evans Human Torch trilogy, so funny. Yeah, I think the overall my overall feelings on this movie were that there was a lot of good things mixed in with a lot of just okay things mixed in with just a couple bad things. And I think the movie failed as a result of just not being able to commit to one vibe, one tone, one thing. It just kind of like it didn't commit all the way to the camp, but it tried to be Sam Raimi. It was going for the Spider-Man 2 vibe, right? It was going for a mix of Sam Raimi camp and melodrama and heroism, and kind of epic tone. But it just didn't, I think because it didn't really know what it was doing, it just kind of like wavered back and forth between them, and it just didn't do well. Didn't love it. So that's that. Okay. I'm trying my hardest not to keep going back to Josh Trank's 2015 movie, but I just can't stress enough. I would rather watch 2005 Fantastic Four 10 times in a row than watch the Josh Trank movie. Like, sit down and watch it one time. Hate it. Makes me upset. And also, this is a weird thing. Let me know if any of you guys can relate to this. This is, I don't know, probably not. I'm probably gonna sound crazy. The Josh Trank movie gives me anxiety. And I don't, not like it's so bad that it gives me anxiety. Like Morbius is worse, technically. But I would rather watch Morbius. But for some reason, I think it's like the way the movie's filmed or edited, it just gives me anxiety. And not a lot of movies do that. And the ones that do, at least I understand where it's coming from. So it's like kind of part of the experience. With this movie, it's just like a mystery. Every time I watch it, I get that like butterfly sinking feeling in my stomach. I think we have better things to judge the Fantastic Four on than Sue's blonde hair. Okay, but yeah, I agree. Jessica Alba clearly isn't blonde, so she just looked a little out of place. Okay, so the worst Fantastic Four movie, 2015. My second least favorite, 2005. Now we're going to talk about the 1994 Fantastic Four movie. This is exciting. If you guys haven't seen this, I'm going to pull up the trailer. The trailer, so this movie, there's a big story behind this, and I want to talk about it, to be honest. So we're gonna do it. The Fantastic Four 1994 movie was exactly the same thing as like every other Fantastic Four movie, in that it was made as an effort, or in an effort, to maintain the rights to the movie. I talked a little bit about this already. They didn't care if the movie was good. In fact, they didn't care if the movie was ever even seen. They only cared about making it so that they could prove they made it, so that they could maintain the rights to the movie. So if you're not trying to make a good movie, then you're kind of trying not to make a good movie. And that's what this is. And I think as a result, it's actually it's got entertainment value for sure. Roger Corman did something when he could have done absolutely nothing. He made choices when he did not have to make choices. So we're gonna watch. Just had to take a sip of the juice, sip of the tea. Okay. I'm not gonna let the audio play because I don't know if this music's copyrighted in the trailer. But man, man, you guys are in for a real treat. Here, let me move myself over here. Yeah. Now this is another thing. Okay, this is something that I wanted to talk about specifically when we got to this movie. So this is my third from the bottom Fantastic Four movie, because I think it's not terrible. Now this movie never came out, and I believe they've burned the work print of the movie. Like the archive footage of this no longer exists, but there had been a digital leak online. So the footage is like out there. You can see it, you can search it out. I'm not going to tell you where, I'm not going to link it, but you can find it, okay? The thing that's interesting though that I wanted to talk about is in every Fantastic Four movie, they at least know how to do the thing. Isn't that kind of weird? Because when you think about it, you would think that that would be the hard part. It'd be like, okay, Johnny, maybe it looks like shit, but mostly you just cover him in fire. If you composite that, you can make it look okay. They articulated, look at that. They articulated his mouth in a practical costume that looks like Orange Rock to me. It's a little foamy. It looks a little bit like foam. But I'll be honest, for 1994, for a movie that was given no budget and, you know, whatever the case is, not bad. Really not bad. So to me, this movie's entertainment value comes from a couple different places, okay? Number one, it does kind of have that so bad it's good flavor to it. You can kind of like get a little bit stoned or something, or have a couple of drinks with your friends and just kind of pick on the movie, and it is fun. It does have value in that way. But I also truly think there's a few ideas in this movie that are kind of good, and it's a hard movie to piece together. Like a lot of it doesn't make sense. It's more a collection of unfinished scenes. There's a lot of unfinished like shit going on in this movie, so it is kind of hard to like piece it all together. But they created some original characters that were kind of interesting. They had I think Mole Man was in it, but they had like a leprechaun. You guys remember the leprechaun? What was his name? The Jeweler or something like that. I think his name was the Jeweler. And that was an original character, kind of just put in there. They had Doom with, you guys want to hear some audio issues? Dr. Doom in that movie. Every time he talks, he sounds like this. I'd be surprised if you guys were able to hear that, you know? So it's fun, you know, it's fun. But the movie does have some cool ideas. The Dr. Doom costume is not terrible. The look of the Thing, not terrible. Actually, the look of all of their powers is kind of okay. The only one that really looks janky is there's a few parts where they try to composite out Sue Storm like she's invisible, and it doesn't look great. And then there's a few times where Reed stretches and it looks very bad. Yash, man, Be Kind Rewind is such a throwback. I don't even know where I unlocked that memory of the movie existing from. Maybe you saw my video on it. Maybe you saw my video on why Be Kind Rewind is one of the most underrated movies ever made. Because I made that video like a year ago. Go check it out, because it is. It's awfully shit to me. Yeah. Well, here's the thing you guys also have to keep in mind, right? This is it is, when I say it's an unreleased movie, I mean like this movie never saw the light of day. Not theaters, not TV. Like it never came out. This was something that people had to track down to find it. And now it kind of, I guess it's different. Now you can just go online and look for it. I bet I could probably find a copy, you know. Look at the thing though. That's a good looking design. Yeah, see, some of that compositing looks a little sketch, dude. I don't know about that. I don't know. All right, well, if you guys haven't seen it, seek it out for yourself and check it out. But also, later tonight, we are going to be doing a giveaway because they made an entire documentary, an entire feature-length documentary about what happened to the making of that movie. Conspiracies, fraud, lies, budget funneling, all this interesting stuff. There is a huge scandal behind the making of this bullshit movie, so I highly encourage you guys check it out, man. The OG Beyonder looked like Michael Jackson in the comics. That's so funny. That's funny. I'll have to look into that. I've not seen the... Oh, okay, talking about Be Kind Rewind. Yeah, dude, rewatch it. It's still so good. It's from Michel Gondry, the same director as Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. 2 really good movies that he's made. All right, so yeah, so the 1994 Fantastic Four. We're going to be giving away a copy of the documentary. It'll educate you on everything that's happened to that movie. But truthfully, it is better than at least 2 of the Fantastic Four movies. And I really mean that. And this is kind of like an anticlimactic ending to the ranking because I guess my favorite Fantastic Four movie at the moment,
to start us off with an attention-grabbing,
is Fantastic Four 2008.
Wedding Day is finally
or 7.
approaching.
Sorry, The Rise of the Silver Surfer. Sorry about that. So this is weird because in general, I don't think I really like this movie. But this is the one where if somebody said, we gotta watch a Fantastic Four movie, one of a Fantastic Four movie has to be put on. What's the one with the most odds of people having fun? I think it might be this one. There's a few reasons. Number one, let's talk about what's good about the movie. And I went into a lot of this in detail in the pre-show. So if you already heard it, excuse me. But the Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer did a few things very right. And I think this movie really proves that if nothing else, Tim Story is a good director who loves the Fantastic Four. I really believe he likes these characters. I believe he has said on record that he was a big fan of the Fantastic Four prior to making these movies. And you can tell because the way he treated the Silver Surfer, the character of Norrin Radd in this movie, is so good. And I said this in the video, and I'll say it again here. You can look me dead in the eyes when I say it because I'm about to mean this. They could do this exact same thing again in the MCU, and it would work for me. They could change nothing. They could say, we are just going to insert the Lawrence Fishburne Silver Surfer scenes, and you're just going to watch them again in a new context. I would be okay with that. I think that's how good Silver Surfer was. At their first attempt, the first and only attempt to make the Silver Surfer in cinema, and honestly, it's great. It's perfect. I love the voice. I love the special effects. I love that scene of him surfing through the bus, phasing through matter. Like there's things in this movie that, god damn, if it was just a little more focused, it could have been great. Or if it wasn't so overstuffed with shit, you know, because that's the other thing. There's just a lot going on in this one, so they don't have time to explain a lot. Here's what I mean. For all intents and purposes, there's like 4 villains in this movie, okay? There is the United States government, which is a big problem for the Fantastic Four in this movie, you know? So you have the government. Then you have Victor Von Doom, who obviously villain. Then you have the Silver Surfer, mostly a villain for the whole movie. And then you have Galactus, who is a threat, who at the very end of the movie becomes the main villain. So you see, when you have 4 heroes, you do not need 4 villains. The 4 heroes should have gone up against Norrin Radd and then Galactus. They should have cut Doctor Doom the fuck out of this movie. This is crazy because this is the one I like the most, but it's the one I'm gonna go in the most on because the stuff I didn't like about this movie really pisses me off when I think about it. Number 1, why is Doctor Doom in this movie? I get that he's an iconic Fantastic Four villain, so it's, you know, it makes sense. But they defeated him at the end of the first one. If you knew you wanted to bring him back for the second one, don't do that. You know? And the way that they do it, at the end of the first one, they're like, he's captive, or is he? So it's like in that way, they copped out of even having to explain realistically how he could have escaped. It's just stupid, dude. I hate it. The MCU Silver Surfer won't be as good. It would be kind of like trying to replace Wesley Snipes' blade. You can't replace Wesley Snipes' blade. You just can't. I know Mahershala Ali has been cast as Blade for, 100 years now. And I know that eventually they do intend on still making that movie. And I guess if I had to pick anybody, Mahershala Ali, he works for me. But yeah, dude, there is no replacing Blade. I think Lawrence Fishburne, Silver Surfer, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you can't replace him, but you definitely don't need to. He didn't leave anything to be desired. He gave me everything I wanted. Dr. Doom, on the other hand, sucks ass. He sucks ass. That's my Andy Dick impression. He sucks ass. Kojo likes the ugly space cloud that's Galactus, right? Oh, like the cloud? Yeah. Wow. Nah, I don't like the cloud. The cloud's stupid. I like Galactus to be a big helmeted motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. Like hopefully what we're gonna get in this movie. Julian McMahon really looks like Victor Von Doom. Yeah. I thought the casting was great. In the first movie, you look at the initial casting. I love Johan Griffith as Mr. Fantastic. Michael Chiklis is the Thing. Great. Victor Von Doom, Julian McMahon. That's cool. This is Mr. Nip Tuck, He shouldn't have been in this movie. They did not know what to do with him, and they fricked it up big time. Yeah, the Johnny Storm cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine was good. It was good. That was my second favorite cameo in that movie. The Cloud is not Galactus. They show the shadow of the helmet. The Cloud is his ship. In this movie, they don't... I mean, they show, like, the form of his helmet, but it's like he's an entity. There is no, like, he even. It's just like he's vapor, no? If his ship is a bunch of clouds, then what is he? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So this one, I guess, is my favorite Fantastic Four movie for now. But my honest thoughts are that this I can't believe I'm saying this, but my honest thoughts are that Marvel might be the one to make the best Fantastic Four movie. And the reason I can't believe I'm saying that is because the best Spider-Man movies, not by Marvel, the best X-Men movies, well, Marvel hasn't made one yet, but let's be honest, I mean, some of those X-Men movies are tough to beat. But I think Marvel has the sauce for Fantastic Four. I think they understand that we wanted something snappy, kind of hopeful, colorful, fun. I love the shade of blue. This is so stupid and petty, but the shade of blue that they're using for the marketing is like, mwah, I love it. All right, so that's my ranking. I remember 2007 like it was yesterday. Me too, bud. Getting older. I'm finding gray hairs in my chin, in my hair. I got a haircut recently, and by recently I mean I got a haircut yesterday, and dude, fuck, I had gray hairs, and when you cut it short, you can't see them as much, so maybe I'll start doing that. Yeah, MF Doom the rapper is the best portrayal of Dr. Doom. No disrespect to anybody else, but yeah, MF Doom is the best, for sure. He's the best Doom. It's cool too. There's a lot of MF Doom songs that sample little bites from the Fantastic Four cartoon. I really like that. Cute. You guys does somebody want to win something? Maybe somebody wants to win something. Let's do a giveaway. We're going to be giving away, like I said, a documentary on, it's called Doomed. It's a documentary on the making of Roger Corman's Fantastic Four film. Secrets, lies, conspiracy, and betrayal. And all you have to do if you want to win this is be the first to answer this question. Which member of the Fantastic Four was originally replaced by Herbie, which is the robot, and why? So, in the creation of Herbie for the Fantastic Four cartoon, Herbie was created as a robot to replace one of the members of the Fantastic Four. So what I want to know is, which member was Herbie created to replace and why? First one to answer that. And by the way, guys, I just want to make this very clear. Apologies, but this is going to be winners in North America only. So if you're in, like the United States and Canada, basically, and Mexico's North America, but North America only, just because for this show, sometimes these items that we ship out are very expensive, and this will be one of those things. So this is going to be North America only. He left Earth. Yeah, some of you have answered half of the question right. Remember, you have to say which Fantastic Four member was replaced and why. And why. And remember, this is North America only, so I'm just letting you all know now. If you win, you got to be in North America, or else we won't be able to ship out your winnings this week. Okay. Okay, we did have somebody get it right. But just based off your name, Yash, I want to make sure this is North America only. So if you're outside of North America, I won't be able to ship you the DVD. So confirm for me if you're from North America, you're the winner. And if not, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we'll have to give it to the next winner. North America only. Yep, a lot of you are getting Darnell. Okay, Darnell Leak. Darnell Leak. Oh, close. Yes, this is technically close. This is it. He was licensed for another. It was another. Yeah, there was supposed to be a solo Human Torch cartoon. Okay. But Darnell, you've won before, so I can't. I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. You have won before. The next one in line, Andrew Machado, Johnny Storm, option for another project. So, Andrew, if you are in North America, and again, sorry guys, oh no, yeah. Yash is in Toronto, Canada. Wow. All right, then in that case, apologies to Andrew. Yash, you got it 2 minutes ago, man. So Yash, yeah, if you're in Toronto, you are the winner. And here is how you claim your winnings. Remember, guys, too, we do giveaways here all the time. So if you're discouraged by this one, I know that might have seemed a little messy just because we had to switch some of the rules today. And I also don't want to give prizes to the same people every single time. Darnell, you've never... Okay, well, I'm going to write that down. I'll write that down, Darnell. I'm so sorry if you haven't won before. Yash got it first, though, and he is in North America, so he's going to be the winner either way. Yeah, apologies. Sometimes it's hard when we do giveaways and I see, certain names that pop up every time, and that's, So, Yash, this is for you. I'm going to pin your comment, and all you need to do is email arrow@joeblow.com to claim your prize. Since you're in Toronto, it's no problem. We'll have that shipped out to you. We will get around, guys, to other giveaways and further stuff, maybe more, popcorn buckets, things of that variety. So don't get discouraged if you didn't win this time. And also these comments are delayed, so they come in a little difficult for me to keep up with sometimes. So to Yash, congratulations. Make sure you email arrow@joeblow.com. And then to Darnell and Andrew, stick around, come back, and you're bound to win one of these next giveaways. I promise. Okay. So Darnell, thank you for being a cool sport. Thank you for being a good sport. Andrew, same to you. Thank you so much. You guys are smart. You guys are smart. But Yash was the winner. So congratulations to Yash. There's my ranking of Fantastic Four, and the only other thing that I wanted to share with you guys tonight, if you haven't seen it, we just have to do this really quick. We have to. Let me go back to... If you guys didn't see, Henry Cavill's James Bond audition leaked online, and to be honest, it's very boring. I don't think I would have liked Henry Cavill as James Bond. He doesn't look charming. He looks dead behind the eyes in this. But if you guys want to see, Henry Cavill's full James Bond audition has leaked on the internet, and you can go watch this for free and see what you think Henry Cavill could have brought to the table as James Bond, which is great. All right, guys. Well, I love you all. Thank you so much for being so active in the comments. Thank you so much for bearing with me. My main goal, as you guys know, I say this every week, but my main goal with this stream is just to find my community, you know, just to find my set, my people. And every single week when I do this, we have moments that really remind me that I'm doing that. So thank you guys so much. Honestly, cannot say that enough, but I really mean it. And don't worry, we're going to take care of you guys. We got a great show next week. Oh, make sure you guys are subscribed, okay? Because we have some sick videos coming out this week. We've got What the Fuck Happened to Snatch coming this week, which is going to be an interesting video. I really want you guys to watch that one. So on Monday, we've got What the Fuck Happened to Snatch. And then this Wednesday, we're going to be covering Captain America and the Winter Soldier, because it's the first appearance of Sam Wilson in the MCU, and there's a new Captain America movie, and we want to get in on that. But then this Friday, we have a huge What the Fuck episode coming with Taylor, and we have Taylor covering What the Fuck Happened to Harrison Ford, which is an episode that gets requested in the comments all the time, and I'm really excited for it. So for those of you guys that love our show and support us, thank you so much. Make sure you stick around this week. We have tons of good videos coming up. And I guess that's pretty much everything. So I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of one of my favorite movies.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. All right, everybody. Much love to you all. Thank you for being on Friday Night Flicks with me, and I will see you next week. Peace out.